up. All right, so we got a gap down in the market, guys. This is going to be... Fuck. I apologize for being late. But power just got back on, like literally like an hour ago. So then I was going to scrub myself up a little bit. I've been baking in all sorts, clam bacon in the heat over here. But yeah, we have no power for 2 days. So I was just trading on the lamb off my MiFi spot. Get a Verizon MiFi spot if you guys ever, run into a cane or something. So we got a 2-3% gap down in the market. Big, that's a big level here. Mark this out today. So you can't chase a 3% gap down in the market, on the short side, really. It's too big of a gap. If we get a light bounce at the open, we can start. If it starts to fade off at this 50 SMA, like if we can't reclaim this 50 SMA or remount this 50 SMA, I think we're going to have to fade this. This looks like kind of like a head and shoulders pattern over here that's starting to develop. As you can see, the 9 EMA is curling down. You can't break over the 50. I don't know. I was trading yesterday, but I was only really staring at 2 or 3 charts because I didn't have access to computers and internet and stuff. So I don't know what the news is on the market. I know the interest rate stuff was yesterday, but that usually doesn't mean that much. And in reality, though, it doesn't really matter. Like, we've got a whole shitload of resistance now in the market at 280. We got it at this 50 SMA. And frankly, if we break down this, let's go to like a 30-minute chart. If we break, and we're doing it already, if we break this level, all hell will break loose. So when the market gets like volatile like this, you don't need a big watch list. Everything will move with the market essentially. It's like when the market is hot, it's a stock. It's what's called a stock picker's market. Things will move around as they move around, right? Like individual chart setups matter. They won't matter today. Everything will follow the market. So what you want to be doing is just posting the most. You want to just be playing like the biggest range stocks because they're all going to run together. So like, let's take a look. So that's a big breakdown in the market. You can see Apple is following the same kind of playbook. It is breaking under the 50 SMA. This thing's got probably a date with this gap fill over here. That's a rollover pattern too. I would not be surprised to see this thing at $100 in the next couple days. That one's going to be, things are looking nasty. So we want to stick with big range, big name stocks. So this will be our list for today. We don't have to do much. This ZM, if it breaks under the 9 EMA here, it's got tons of room to fall to about 350 before it runs into it. You got a gap fill here. If it breaks under this 9 EMA and it's already starting to do it, we'll take this thing down. Peloton, sitting at its 20 SMA here. If this thing breaks the 20 SMA, it'll fall down into the 70s, right? That'd be probably the bounce spot. We got about $8. We got about $8 of downside. This one's already opening down about 5%. You do not want to chase the gap downs at the open, okay? I repeat, you do not want to chase the gap downs at the open. On the long side, let's add UVXY to the watch list. We've got a double bottom here setting up. On volatility, you see it's about 5% gap up. We'll be able to trade this to the upside today if the market really actually wants to roll over. Do not get too crazy with stuff. This Twilio is a big breakdown right here. So you got test of resistance here. If it breaks under this 220, 222 zone, lights out on this thing. This is also a big rollover pattern. You don't even have any support on this till, I guess, maybe 200 and then 164. This is a nasty look on the markets, guys. If you see a lot of these stocks, in March, a lot of these stocks were $30, $40, $50, right? They're going up 500%, 600%. Now, they're starting to give it up. So this Docu, big breakdown over here too. Perfect. We short the shit out of this one. We have to, right? It's our imperative as Americans to shoot it down. Now look, if the market starts to rebound, this Beaky was hot yesterday. We were playing this Beaky a little bit. Beaky, Do you love me? Do you want me? Man, this thing is nice. Set an alert. Set an alert. If the market wants to start the rebound, this is the support on it. 54.50 to anywhere from 53 to 54.50. We could try to bounce it. You can only try to bounce a stock like this, though. I repeat, you can only try to bounce a stock like this if the market cooperates, due to the fact that if the market's going to just get cucked today, if that's the proper terminology, if the market's going to get cucked today, it's going to take down these kind of stocks, because this thing was, I mean, it's up a double, right, in the last month. Just going to knock these kind of stocks down. I do think this kind of real estate services sector, long term, is like going to be a hot sector. Anything that's like tech related in real estate, that's probably like, one of the next, right, kind of fields where, like, anybody's like, bought a house a couple of years ago. It's a fucking pain. You need to get this fucking mortgage originator, then you got this titling company, this paper company, this insurance company, this fucking flood company, the bank, the mortgage broker, there's like 50 people involved. It takes fucking forever. I mean, I was about to buy this thing in cash just so I wouldn't have to fucking sit there and deal with all the fucking paperwork. Real estate is probably a prime industry to get rid of all those very, very annoying people and make it a lot easier. So I do think that these kind of online real estate kind of companies that are going to probably be hot, like that IPOB, Beaky, these are all kind of real estate companies. But in general, let it pull back. Watch this thing, 53, 54. We'll be good to go. I got a whole shitload of stocks here, but I don't think we really even need to, go into them. Watch under this 50 SMA, gold could get shredded too. Gold could get shredded too. Silver looks like it's also about to roll over. Man, nasty. Look at that thing. Anything under 24, you could probably short silver. This AGQ is a 3x ETF for silver. You can see this thing's got like a big breakdown over here. There's not that many hot stocks that look like longs. Now, on the other side, we were playing these IPOs yesterday. Did anybody, right, shred on the Snow IPO? I guess in hindsight, this thing was probably a blow. This Snow IPO put the market top it. No, I'm just kidding. This thing was really a bloated pig. It was supposed to open at like 70, and then they said 120, and then they said 160, 170, and ended up popping to 320. This thing's probably going to bleed out. Anything under 230, you can by the way, you can find shorts on this stuff. You'll have to pay 30, 40 cents for the borrow, but you can probably short this. If this thing holds under 235, that's Jason, some of you guys that have the borrows on this. If it holds under 235, probably a fader. You're probably good for 30 points, 50 points. The Frog IPO already getting smoked out. Hopefully what these things will do is they'll put it, if they get SSRs on them, then if the market rebounds, we'll we could try to bounce them. But these are all bloated. Like this one was originally supposed to open at like $25. Then they said 30. Then they said 40. And it'll open at fucking $77. They're all going to get smoked out for a couple days. Josh Ben, what is going on in Norway? I have always wanted to go. Plus, if you know anything about like Indian people, we love blondes. We can't get blondes, but Indian guys, we love blondes. That's like the American dream. If you hook me up, find me a Norwegian princess, I would be in your debt for life. That is the curse of being an Indian. We're very, very hairy. Australians even better. Australian guy in Norway, you probably know a million women. I'm coming to stay. All I need is a couch, and I will show you everything I have to. We'll find myself my first ex-wife. I'm serious. I do always wanted to go. The other stuff I just make up because I talk shit all day. This is pretty good. I can't really see much. Workhorse, we need bounces. Workhorse, bounce at 22. DKNG still needs $2 more, bounce at 45. Pen, bounce at maybe 60. Till then, I mean, I think we just short the shit out of everything and see what happens. You can already see, like, one thing to always add, so when the market gets like this, add the TQQ ETF, guys. You know, we can trade this back and forth. The margin rates on it stink, but in general, like, you can trade this thing. What the fuck? Let me backfill this thing. Hold on here. The margin rates usually stink on this thing, but what the fuck? It's going to have tons of range on it. Yeah, you can see this is already, it's pre-market range. So you can trade this back and forth. Like, if you can't find stuff that's going to bounce or work, you know, and you just want to trade the general market, use the TQQ ETF, or you can use the NASDAQ micro futures contract. Both of those will, I mean, both of those will work just fine. What the fuck? Look at this. All this stuff is getting, this issue should be fixed. Next time I just restart the program. Boop. Good, good, good. Jordan, how you doing? What's going on? Jordan, how you doing? Hassan, that's a good list. Hey, Turth, how are you, buddy? And guys, if you're like just like a new trader, you're like new to our chat room, you know, you don't have to trade on days like this. Like, you know, this is going to be wild. First of all, you want to trade on big down days, but because of the gap, it makes it more tricky. We're going to have to be like long, short, like a couple times today. So you don't have to like necessarily, you know, trade on days like this. Like, you know, you can sit it out, see what happens, right? Just watch and learn, especially if those of you guys are just brand new at our chat room. Like, we move very, very fast. Like, we move super fast. That's just how we've always been. We take big chunks, but we move fast. And so these are good, you know, good days to just watch. This does look like a short, Matt. Yeah. So volatile days are very tricky because we always think when the market gets volatile that we're going to make a bunch of money. But it's not necessarily the truth. Volatile days are really the most stressful days, right? You know the easiest time to make money? When the market is just sitting around on its butt and it just goes up every day. Right? That's the easiest time to make some fucking money. But the volatile days, yeah, we're going to make a lot of money today, I'm assuming. But if all things go right, you know, it's not the easiest. Good. Hey, Badass, if you want inverse, you can go SQQ. That's the inverse ETF to the NASDAQ. Yeah, my anticipations will probably have to take a little bit of you know, long at the open and then reverse the market later on. That's my gut feeling. But that's the list. I'm sticking to it to regurgitate our focus list. All right, I got a million stocks I'm always watching, but the focus list: Peloton, all right, Beaky at FSLY. All right, Docu. We don't need many. TQQ and Twilio. We got Twilio too for short. If the market wants to bounce later, we'll hit some SPACs. All right. Keep all the SPACs on the watch list. IPOB, KAC, AC, TRNE, FEAC. Those are all hot ones. But in general, I think, you know, today we short life after we get a bounce. I'm not sure the exact location when this bounce starts, but we'll get a quick bounce, probably at the open, and then we'll have to see. Then we're going to have to see what's up. So that's the list. I'm sticking to it. Guys, trade a little bit smaller today. It's going to be volatile. When there's excess volatility, You can reduce size and still have, the same kind of numbers. So be safe. Let's do this.